Hey guys, welcome to my channel. So today we're going to be diving into the Hourglass holiday palettes, which they were kind enough to send over. So if you guys are as curious to dive into them as I am, then just keep watching. In case you haven't seen them, this is what they look like this year. They have animals on the boxes, and I believe these are endangered animals, if I am correct. We've got the tiger, the elephant, and the butterfly, and they're all ambient lighting palettes. We have the lighting edit unlocked tiger, the lighting edit unlocked elephant, and the lighting edit unlocked butterfly. And I didn't know if these had bronzer, highlight, blush, what they had in them, because I tried not to look online or do any like spoilers. So let's open them up together. Okay. So the one that clearly matches my outfit today is the elephant. So I figured we would start with this one. It says inside what you get. You get finishing powder, dim lights, finishing powder, soft light, metallic strobe powder, beaming strobe light, bronzer, lustrous bronze light, blush, iridescent coral, and blush radiant rose. Those are all products that I believe I've owned in the past. So it's a bit smaller scale. So you have your finishing powders, you have a highlight, a bronzer, and two beautiful blushes in this one, which I feel like this is what they had last year. The butterfly has ethereal light finishing powder, incandescent light strobe powder, a soft flush blush, diffused light finishing powder, sunset glow blush, and metallic strobe. So this one does not have any bronzer in it. Oh, that's also very pretty. So you have, I believe, these two finishing powders, these two highlights, and these two blushes. And then finally, the Tiger palette has transcendent light finishing powder, a metallic strobe powder in brilliant glow, burnished glow blush, metallic strobe powder in divine strobe light, metallic strobe powder in copper flash, and then blush iridescent rose. So this one probably is best for deeper skin tones, but we could definitely play with these two today. First off, I think I'm going to go into the butterfly palette and go into these finishing powders and just kind of finish off the face. All I've done is my concealer, my foundation, and a little bit of setting powder. So I usually just go in with a brush like this and kind of swirl into them and then dust it on. Just adds a bit of like luminosity to the face, and I know I'm extremely pale right now, so let's dive into the bronzer from the elephant palette right here. Kind of feel like I need just like a big fluffy brush for this, like this one. All right, slightly more bronze. Still feel like I could go a little bit further, but there isn't anything darker in here. So next, let's check out these highlight shades. This one up here, which looks like it might be a bit deep for me. This one is the metallic strobe powder in beaming strobe light. Right here. Which looks very pretty, like a peachy gold shade. From the butterfly palette, we had number 2, which was incandescent light, which is like a really light one, which I generally would go for. And then we had number 6, celestial strobe light here. So there was the first one and the second one. So we definitely have like a peachy apricot shade. We have a fair shade and then more of a golden shade. I feel like I could probably get away with both of these. So I'm just going to go back and forth between these two. Let's start off with the lightest one. That is definitely very natural. Is this the one I normally set my face with? I normally set my face with this powder from Hourglass. This one is the ambient lighting powder in luminous light. I wonder how this one compares. So this is the one I normally use compared to the 3 that we got today. It's right here, just a little bit lighter, a little bit peachier, a little bit more subtle. Almost with a little bit more pink to it. So that's normally what I would set my whole face with, but I'm trying something new today. So, all right, we've tried the lightest one. Let's try that second one that looks a bit more golden. These are very pretty. I feel like it just adds like a very natural, healthy glow, and then you can always set it down and kind of like melt it into the rest of your products with a setting spray. So those look really nice. And now we have a whole bunch of blush options to pick from. We have Soft Flush and Sunset Glow. Soft Flush and Sunset Glow. The Elephant palette, we have Iridescent Coral and Radiant Rose. So these look a bit more pink than the other ones. And then in the Tiger palette, Iridescent Rose and Burnished Glow. So they also give you this one, which is a really pretty like peachy shade. I'm kind of tempted to try these. Like this one looks like it might be a really nice bronzer. It says it's a finishing powder, Transcendent Light. Really, this is a finishing powder? I mean, I suppose for deeper skin tones. I mean, these just look so pretty. I really am tempted to try this one. I want to see what this looks like. All right, the finishing powder looks like that. The second powder looks like that. Ooh, that's really pretty. This bronzy blush. Ooh. Tempting. We have the highlight. We've got this other beautiful bronzy glow, and then we have this pinky glow one, which we had in the other palette. These are very, very pretty. Like these would look gorgeous on my daughter. I'm kind of tempted to use this finishing powder as like an extra layer of bronzer. So let me try that real quick. It's actually really pretty as a like bronzing finishing powder. All right, that is pretty. All right, so all of the palettes have different things to offer. So like in that Tiger one, we've got some deeper shades. This is definitely the one that I feel like is catering to deeper skin tones. And then I'm not sure which of these is catering. This is probably catering to lighter skin tones. This one is the Butterfly. And then the Elephant is probably medium skin tones, just because there are some, there's bronzer, there's a deeper highlight, there's some deeper finishing powders in there. Now which one to try on my face? I feel like I want to try this one right here, which is Iridescent Coral, and then maybe I'll try a little bit of Iridescent Rose on top. This doesn't really look like a coral to me. It looks like a pink. We'll try it. I would not call that a coral. I would call that like a soft pink. So now let's try the Iridescent Rose from the Tiger palette. This one has a bit more of the iridescent swirled into it, like the highlighted product. Definitely glowy, but I feel like the color itself is very, very similar. I wouldn't call either of these a coral. I would definitely say more of a rose. Now let's try this one on top. This one is, I believe, one of the strobe powders. Metallic strobe powder and copper flash strobe light, but I think it'd be really pretty as a blush topper for my skin tone. Yes, that is really pretty. Now, there's a lot of glow going on these cheeks, so I might have to like powder them down, buff them down a bit, but the colors themselves are really pretty. Super glowy. So like this side just had the coral blush and then a little bit of the copper flash strobing powder on top. Really glowy, but still pretty natural. This side I went a little heavier. I had the iridescent blush and then the coppery flash strobe powder on top. And then on the face, I have the finishing powders. I even went with the darker finishing powder from the Tiger palette, and I really like that as well. But I don't feel like I'm gonna get a whole, I don't know, like I don't know which one I'm gonna use the most, because this bronzer isn't quite my shade, but the finishing powders are. And this one, I really like this as a blush topper, and I like this as like a bronzer powder. I don't know, I wish I could like pick and choose and make my own palette, but I think these are really nice holiday options, especially if you're someone that's looking to try Hourglass powders. They are really beautiful powders. I would say my favorites are their finishing powders. Their ambient light powders, like this is gorgeous. It makes the whole face look just like glowy and healthy and radiant without looking sparkly, which I think is fantastic. So here are the highlight shades and the finishing powder that I use. It's not in the palette. Over here we have the deeper shades from the Tiger palette. We have bottom row and the top row here. I feel like I can use a mixture of all three palettes, but there's no need to have all three palettes. So I would say if you are fair skin, go with the Butterfly. If you have a medium skin tone, go with Elephant. And if you are a deeper skin tone, you'd probably benefit from the Tiger. But like I said, even if you get one that isn't custom for your specific skin tone, I feel like you can still get use out of the palette, which might have been what they were going for. Like if one of them is out of stock and you really wanted to get an Hourglass palette for the holidays, try another one and you can still make it work. So smart, but also there may not be 6 shades that you can use for yourself. It might be like 3 shades are perfect, 3 shades I've got to work with, or 2 shades are perfect, the other ones I've got to work with, or 5 are great, but there's one that doesn't quite work. So nice palettes. I just wish they had like a customizable option, which would be so much fun. I did want to pop on here and say there is a customizable option, but only customizable in the sense of what animal goes on the cover. The 6 pans are still set. There's 6 pans that come together and you have the option of one of those 3 sets of 6. So you can't pick and choose a single from this, a single from this, 2 from this one. You just get to pick which 6 pan collection goes inside and which animal's on the cover. So there is customization, but not in the sense that I was mentioning. Pick the right bronzer shade, the right finishing shade, the right highlight, the right blush for you, and put it in a palette. I know that's probably a lot more expensive, a lot more customization, but I think that would be so much fun. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing the holiday palettes from Hourglass. I love seeing what they come out with. It's always fun and exciting for me, so I hope you guys enjoyed as well. If you did, remember to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.